And innkeeper, him. So Tim Arkenhall is the one that vouched for her.
Okay.
So this is where you guys left off.
That would be correct.
So are we streaming?
Yep, we are live. And
So
one
where did
shot
Beerens-
is already in chat.
Okay, so Mark back on here. So from the last conversation that you guys had, you guys had obviously gotten information. Hold on. How did Tristan's character go away?
Because it wasn't a normal tile. It was a tile. It wasn't an actual hit point tile.
Oh, okay. Okay. So you guys just basically finished up the conversation you guys were having with
Innkeep.
the innkeeper, Tim Arkenall. You guys were talking about the courier, aka also known as the person that was sitting there watching you do the transaction in regards to finding out about what was going on in the area. And that you guys had figured out that the Nihal, the poison-using Goblin clan, was responsible for the situation that you guys ran into earlier in regards to the couriers and what was going on, and that your patron, Norek Bilbor, which is the patron of the Wayfarers, which is the name of your group, the Wayfarers, has gotten over here to investigate what's going on here. So, right now, you guys are in village of Hilphoven, which is this village right here. And this village is centered on the world of Grinz'eon. And that's this village. That little circle down there is in regards to where you guys are at right now. In regards to the realm. The rest of the area is unknown to you guys. You guys have only been working in a very small area. As you guys explore, you guys will get to know more about the lay of the land and in regards to the other factions, the other areas, what goes on. As far as you guys know, one thing that you guys do is basically working with Norik, and you guys are his troubleshooters. You guys go out, you guys find information, and he really hasn't sent you on any big adventures, but since you are level 2, you guys have encountered some snafus here and there, and you guys have leveled up. So we'll go back into where we were. You guys have the arrow. You guys have paid for it, and you guys are currently outside the inn. The courier that was watching you is currently inside. So we'll pick up from there. And and in regards to what was on the board, which is the little black strip above you guys, it was in regards to Gorbad, the old human ranger, and it's also in regards to the missing couriers. And that would be Valen, Mazen, Dory, and Arath. And these are couriers of note that have been gone missing. And there have been caravans that have gone through. No one's been attacked. No one's been hurt. But they've heard strange tidings. And it's only been the couriers that have been picked off lately. And then they went missing. So, what do you guys want to do? You guys are outside. You guys have already got the information that Marina Othal is one of the few last remaining couriers that is still running the trade routes. And all you can know is that she can handle herself. What do you guys do?
Are we gonna have Cat and Tigrath with us?
Nesdat and Tigrath are part of your party. Nesdat is working directly with Norik. Like, he's his direct representative within the group. Kind of surly, kind of quiet, but he's a stout warrior. Tigrath, Biran, you're controlling Tigrath. And I'm controlling Nestat. So, how do you guys want to play this? You guys are all outside. Except for Nestat and
Tigrath.
There's currently no one around you in general vicinity. Hold on one second.
I guess we could ask the courier what her business is, but that would be kind of a insult in a sense to the
I
courier.
think we should ask the courier if she would like an escort.
That is true, but she would be very suspicious as to what her transaction was.
Okay, I'm back.
So she would, in a sense, be kind of cautious around us.
Well, that's just fine, but our best bet of catching up with the goblins is the courier, if the couriers are the ones that...
That is true. If we want to catch these goblins, we're going to need live bait, and we're also... So, yeah.
So, the innkeeper begs your leave. Tim tells you he's gonna go back inside and serve out the patrons.
I usher him to basically go along with his duties, and I stay by.
And remember, he's a very trusted friend of Norik, so he's already
the
told you
barkeep.
this, and yeah.
Okay.
So he's actually just like you guys, but he's more static, and he's just located here. So
So he has
Um,
permanent installation here.
So you see him go over to the corner. He waves goodbye, and you see him run back and goes back inside.
An athletic bartender.
Yes, he is.
Who knows? He could have been an adventurer like us.
Really took an arrow in the knee.
I used to be an adventurer, and until I became a barkeep, and
Till he got drunk and knocked up this one woman. Now I have 3 kids to take care of, and well, this inn is pretty much my livelihood now.
but you do notice something very interesting. As you notice the name of the inn, um, it sits there and it says the Drunken Wayfarer. And you kind of realize at the corner, when Tim was leaving, he was pointing up toward the sign right before he turned the corner. You guys didn't catch on until like just now. And then at the very bottom corner of the sign, you guys see your guys' symbol etched in there.
The Wayfarer emblem.
Yep. And the Wayfarer emblem is very simple. It's a crescent moon with a small sword going through it. The crescent moon is going up from bottom left all the way to the top right, and the sword hilt is opposite end, and sword end would be on the right hand side.
So the crescent moon would pretty
Oh.
much be acting almost like that of a shield, almost, or a sail with the sword.
So
Or
just so you know, each one of you carries an emblem. Okay. It is looks like it's in copper, but underneath it's actually mithril. It's very
ain't
costly.
mithril like expensive material?
It's very expensive, but it's layered in copper.
So mithril is pretty much the
If you were-
backbone, and the copper is pretty much just to protect the mithril. Then
The copper's to hide it. If you ever had to sit there and you know that like if you ever had to like sit there and prove to somebody that you were an agent of Norik, you would just hand them your emblem, and they would slice into the copper, and they would see the mithril because they wouldn't be able to cut through it.
they'd be able to cut through the copper, but not the mithril.
Exactly. But they would see the mithril underneath, and they would know that you were a true agent of Norik.
So it's almost like the ranger emblems, just ranger emblems are only given out to that rangers. And it has a magical property, like in Cherokee, but it has a magical property that the emblem just disintegrates the second the ranger dies.
Yeah, but it's a very, very small pin, and you guys just have it up, and it's more like a button on your clothes. So it's very, very tiny. It's not like, like in Lord of the Rings when they had like the big leaf. It's
Yeah.
not like that. It's more like a fucking little button. So it's barely like a half an inch across.
So
But
you,
you know it's still worth a lot of money.
but if you traded it off to someone, that would make you a target of the group. I'm guessing.
What do you guys want to do?
Should
You
we
guys
go?
know that there's a courier in there, and you know that she's been eavesdropping on you guys' stuff. Tim's already told you, she's pretty legit. So what do you guys want to do?
I guess we can go and ask her if she needs an escort, just in case. But I
Are
still.
you gonna
No,
yell it to her from around here, or you guys are moving inside? So you guys have the tiles.
I'm gonna yell from outside.
Yell from outside. Anyone here? Bring out your dead. Bring out your dead couriers. Bring out your dead.
I'll resurrect them back to life. Okay, I move into. I'm guessing the stools are all still filled up. That are close to her.
So when you walk in, Oric, I take it you're walking in too?
Sure.
Okay. So when you walk in, you notice that Serena is having a very conversation with Tegrath and Nesta. And you sit there and you see him looking down. So
Nesda
you guys walk over.
or Tigra?
Tegrath and Nestat. Like they're just sitting there bullshitting.
Hmm.
You know, telling stories. Like jokes.
Yeah.
How many goblins does it take to, lock a door?
Comical jokes.
Exactly.
Move to a seat right across from her. And listen in for a little bit.
Okay. Okay. As you do this, you sit there and you see Tim comes over, and brings out a nice pheasant, potatoes, vegetables, and stuff like that, and he puts it down on, front of you, on the house, and he puts out a few steins of wine, a beer, and lines one over to Oric that's like really, really, really frothy. Like you can smell it. Like this is like something pungent, like a Guinness type of brew.
Like the really strong German brews and shit.
Yeah, and he kind of like slides it over as he's walking past Oric. Um, handed him his, and he says compliments of the house, and yeah, and then he walks back behind the bar. Or actually, he walks off and takes care of some other customers that are just walking in. So, Serena's there, and she sits there, and they're laughing, and she's like, "Ha ha ha! Oh, that was a good one, Nestat. Um, you know, but I've heard that 1,000 times from a dwarf." And then Nestat's like, "No, I swear it was the first time."
Buzz
And then,
just snickers a
and
little
then they
bit
just
from the comment.
they just start laughing. And then Serena, like, look at you guys.
Is it the look of disgust, fear, or what the hell's going on?
No, but she sees that Oric isn't at the table, and she says,
Oh, I thought they were at the bar. I just wasn't sitting right next
"Oh
to
no,
them.
no, they're at the table. I know it's not the greatest image." So Oric wanders over, and she says, "No, nice of you to join us."
Oh, I thought you were sitting at the bar.
Hey, well, I'm back here at this table. Um, I know you know about the goblins, and I've avoided them as long as I could.
I guess you know which type
And
of goblins then. Or are
I
you
know
just
that
talking about goblins in general, miss?
tells you that she knows it's the Nile. Um, tells you that if it wouldn't been for the fact that it, magic item that protects her against poison, she would have befell the fate of the four couriers.
So you were attacked by this group while you were traveling here, correct?
Um, he looks around and waits until like people aren't looking, and he lifts up like her jerkin and sit there and you see um, four arrow holes,
Uh,
and goes,
I'm going.
"I didn't get these," and you could tell that they're all on one side.
I'm
He
going to do
goes,
a medicine
"I
check
didn't."
to see if they are festering or anything like that. If any,
No, these are already cured. I mean,
oh,
they're already sealed.
like they're not
Um,
like going to fester up and make her sick and shit. So,
no, these are old wounds, like old
Hmm.
scars. It tells you that she's been running this trade route for as long as she can remember, and that these wounds are old, but only in regards to learn to avoid the goblins. Like he only goes past certain areas where she was first attacked, daylight, like broad daylight. It's raining, snowing, cloudy.
User joined your channel.
He doesn't go through.
Good morning.
hey,
And
Buffy.
morning, Buffy. And she tells you that wounds are only less than like a month or two old. So you know that uh, it's only been recently that these goblins have actually come into being, like in regards to attacking the travelers, which corresponds back to you guys saw on the board. Where the other four couriers had been missing in the last month or two. She's a more successful courier from what you can gather based off of her gear, like the way she presents herself, like more high priced.
More
Like
robust and more lethal.
it, it, to retain her services to get an item from point A to point B, you have to pay the price because she's more geared to do that kind of job for them. No questions asked, kind of deal. Kind of like Firefly.
Okay. So she's about like Zoe, in a sense.
Mhm.
Okay.
So they're all healed wounds, but she shows you that she has the scars.
There aren't any
Um,
other wounds or anything like that on her.
no, she full hit
Well, you
points.
could go upstairs and do a more thorough investigation. I said,
You might not come back with all your limbs
or other extremities.
or other extremities.
True. So I guess I'll quit poking and prodding in that area.
Um, but she tells you that she's waiting because the weather, the upcoming weather that she's noticed leads to the fact that it's going to be overcast for the next few days. And that means that she can't move out. Otherwise, the ambushes could happen along the way. And since the road is quite perilous once you go off of uh, the man-made road, there are many creatures of note, direwolves and other creatures that roam out there, going after deer and the other fauna. So it's not something like she just sit there and say like, "Oh yeah, I'm just gonna go around this rock and go around this ambush." Goblins are sitting there, staying close to the road. There's probably a reason, even if they have ambush.
So you're saying that these goblins might be working for someone to basically eliminate the competition. Is that correct?
She's not saying that. She doesn't know why they're there. All she knows is that 4 couriers have gone missing. All their parcels haven't been recovered. Bark, Floss, T-Rat, you guys had that one first encounter where you defeated the 3 and then 1 got away. But there was nothing recovered. But she's telling you that future ambushes are in the
Inevitable.
area. Yes, in the area. So, what do you guys say? What do you...
Well, they are setting up ambushes.
Oh, Buffy, wanna hop in? B1 was playing Tigrath for you.
Hmm?
We're playing on Fantasy Grounds. Remember where you made your
I
character
said,
Tigrath? So, did you want to hop in?
I have now. It's about 10 minutes before I go, so not really.
Okay.
She probably just wants to hear before she goes.
So,
No, just too quiet here.
tells you that she wouldn't be moving out for like at least another 3 days. Tells you if she moves out right now, that within 1 or 2 days out of the village, going south, she would be attacked.
1 to 2 days. That's not long.
Nope.
Oh, that would be like what, 20 leagues at best with a good canter?
Hence,
Does she go on foot?
she tells you no, she has a horse. She actually has 2.
Yeah, that'd be the optimal. Once one horse gets tired, tie that off and just ride the fresh one.
No, she tells you she only has 1. The cargo's on the other one.
Guess I'm thinking too much like the Rangers.
So she asks you your plans.
Should I
You
or
go. She basically asks you, do I wait the 3 days and then you guys go out, or are you guys going to use me as bait? And then
Yes.
if you fail, I have to fend for
Absolutely.
myself. And when she says this, she kind of rolls her eyes.
Well, if we use you as bait, I might as well be bait as well. More meat for the hounds, in a sense.
Here it start raining outside. And it starts getting into like a heavy rain.
Egrath, stop casting rain spells.
Buffy, that's your character, by the way.
Here it starts snowing outside.
Okay,
Gotta
when
be AFK.
or she's in Lava Land and just wants to cast spells.
That's that. Raises and downs his stout ale. And he sits there and he looks at Serena and he goes, "It's your call, lass." Slams it down. "We'll walk first if you want." He goes, "And I'll walk through 3 days. But no goblin shall kill this dwarf. If you'll walk beside me, no one shall harm you. Want to wait? The glory is mine. Even if they don't come." And then he turns around and he goes back up to the bar, go get another drink, and you sit there and you see him shaking his head at him. And they exchange some like inside joke. But you sit there and you see he gets a bigger stein for him and fills it up with a lot darker brew. And then he's all like, all I hear is like, "Must be a dark day for you if you're sitting there saying something like that." And he just slams it down. And you hear the dwarf sit there and he mumbles, "Goblins." And then he spits on the ground and he goes, "Pff. Unworthy foe for any dwarf. No wonder these puny humans fall." And then he just starts chugging his beer. And then him and Tim go into a conversation. Serena's just sitting there like, what the fuck? So, what do you guys want to do? You guys know that Serena's already told you there's a 3-day window in regards to
Getting out.
when they would attack, and partially cloudy, whatever. So you know that 4 to 5 days, give or take the weather. And you
Well-
already know that she has cargo, and she's probably one of the most trusted couriers in here. So she's not going to risk her life on some crazy ass idea that you guys have. So if you guys are going to pass any idea to her,
Hmm.
you got to make it smooth.
Well, if we go now, she said that it has to be a clear day or cloudy day in order for them to move or not move.
Well, they're goblins, so because of the whole ambush and night vision thing, and they really don't like to go out into daytime. You know that they're cowardly creatures, so
So they
they're
will
not about
use
to.
whatever darkness they can get.
Exactly. The darker, the better. The more, I guess you could say, their prey isn't paying attention, the better off they are. But while you guys think this over, I'll be right back. 1 sec.
think I'm falling asleep.
That's never good. Fucking hit the wrong armor. On. Have low level armor, and they had the points in for fucking plate. Or, not plate. Half plate. Can't remember, is Goblin's Dark Vision 120 feet or 60 feet?
60.
So, Klaus and the Goblins would be on par with Dark Vision.
So's Auric.
Stealth is 6, Perception is 5. Well, we could wait the 5-day window. Well, if we do, there'll be more possibilities of more ambushes along the road at dark. Or more ambushes overall. So the longer we wait, the more possibility there is for more ambushes, no matter what. They could get more cunning and attack in broad daylight. Kind of a predicament. Plus, we still need to find out what happened to those other couriers, so
I'm back.
welcome back.
Thank you, thank you.
Still there, B?
Falling asleep, but I'm here.
So, what do you guys want to do?
Go to bed.
Why
Tim
don't you
winks
go
at
to bed?
Tim winks at you, and he's like, winks over to a female halfling, kind of like scantily dressed for you.
Auric takes the bait.
find out her name is Caitlin,
I have herpagonosyphilades now.
and she's actually a troll, a Norwegian troll.
Well, I was troll hunting, so
No, but I'm taking you back, and that didn't happen. But anyway, um, so in regards to the story, you guys know what you guys are timeline, whether what the goblin ambushes have been. So, what would you guys like to do? It's storming outside right now. It's raining very, very heavily. You know that right now is probably the worst time to be out on the road because you know that the roads are going to get muddy, sloppy, and you guys had to run the gallop. There could be mishaps and stuff like that.
Horses could trip and fall and break something, and they're
Wagons tend to get stuck and stuff like that. It's raining very, very heavily.
Carlos is kind of wondering if he shouldn't take a patrol around the town just so something does happen, he can at least make sure it gets fixed right away.
Oh, so by the way, as that comes back, he starts eating the food. So, are you guys also partaking or no?
Yeah.
You there and you see that the courier, Serena, is also partaking.
Carlisle grabs a plate and starts helping himself. Or not Klaus, not Carlisle. Wrong adventure.
So Serena tells you that she knows that you guys are working for Norik. So she tells you that she's not associated with Norik, but she's run parcels for him.
So she's an associate of an associate.
No, she just does work. If somebody needs something moved, like absolutely has to guarantee be there. That's one of those kind of people that's what she does. Gets paid very well for it.
So she's about like the transporter.
Basically. So you pretty much know that she can take care of herself.
Without the guns.
Without the guns.
Well, theoretically, the transporter never used a gun.
Do you guys want to make a quick perception check?
Sure.
Okay, so Klaus, you notice that has like two slight bumps, like right below her cloak, and as she's eating and stuff like this, you sit there and see the hilts of it looks like either two short swords or two daggers. Can't tell, like, but you know that she's got them, so she could like reach back and either pull something out or flick them. Aside from that, you know, when she goes and she reaches over to grab refill for her beer, you notice that she's also got a very fine longsword. And off to the side, there, and you see that she's got a small case. You don't know what's in the case, but you can tell it's very, very fine hardwood, and it looks to you kind of like a short bow kind of case, like if somebody was protecting something.
From the harsh elements and such.
Yep. And you also see, like in the background behind her, um, you see like a quiver of arrows. They're not crossbolt arrows; they're arrows. You rolled a 20, so
Okay.
you can tell that she's
Well equipped.
she's got some nice weaponry around her. And you can sit there and see that wearing some very, very fine chainmail underneath. What it is, you can't tell.
Okay, guys, I need to go. You have fun with your game.
See you,
Mhm.
Buffy.
User disconnected from your channel.
Okay. While this is happening, and the rain is going out, you sit there and see somebody stumbles in, and they land like right there. The guy's drenched in mud, and you can sit there and see blood like all around him. And he says, "They're back." And the guy passes out.
And then,
Like he's
is it
suffering
ever?
from blood loss.
I rush over there to see if I can stop the blood as fast as I can.
Okay.
Medical check or medicine check?
Yep. Sure. I'll sit there and say with the 17, stabilize him. Like, doesn't die, quite necessarily there. Um, um, Shards sticking out of him though, like out of his back.
Like arrow shards or?
No, these aren't arrow shards. They're something more into. They look like they're claws, but like they were shot at him.
I beckon the barkeep over.
I investigate said claws or whatever.
Okay.
And I asked them to
Um,
get me hot water and fresh linen.
So the bartender comes over, gets on the other side. But before he does that, he locks the door. Yells to the back for them to lock the back door. And then he places down the water and stuff like that in the claws. And Orc, as you're looking at the claws, you sit there and see like they're very, very like razor thin, but they're long. So we're to sit there and like equate it to something It would be like
A porcupine?
no. Remember in like a
Billboard.
no. Remember in
Orange.
X-Men, like Archangel, when he became Death,
Oh, Deathwing? Or
where he had those blades that were like they came out of his wings when they had the neurotoxin. They're like that. So they looked like they were cast from something, but they look organic. Tell that they were actually claws, but they flew out of something. And when you stabilize him, and as Oric is looking at this, um, you sit there and you see them like melt away as you're exposing them to the light.
do I notice this, or am I too busy making sure the linen and such?
You can sit there and see that as he's pulling these out and he's exposing them to the light of the tavern, that they're actually like melting in his hand as he's pulling them out, but he's getting a good look at them. And then you sit there and see the fighter reach up to you and he says, "The Dark Ones are back." And then he just passes out.
Klaus says something in Elven, then speaks to the unconscious warrior in common. Now hush, human. Time for you to get some rest. You're going to need your strength in order to get through this little beat up you had.
And then I
you
stick a dagger through his ribs.
and I loot him. You see Serena run up, and you hear pull out a potion, slam it into the guy's mouth, just like fucking open his mouth, and she just chugs it in, and you see the guy like start to wake up. And who's Elvin?
I am.
Oric is? Or Klaus?
Yep.
Or what's Oric?
Ark is a dark gnome.
Or yeah, but no.
What languages do you speak?
Goblick. Common. Where is that at?
Hold on one second.
Abilities.
Abyssal. Gnomish. Undercommon.
Klaus can speak common, elvish, and orc.
Wait, hold on. So, what languages can you speak again? Okay, so Goblin, Gnomish, Common, Abyssal? Oh,
He
that's
is.
right. You're a warlock. Yep.
He is from the Underdark too.
So, the warrior wakes up and sits there and he falls back on his back, and you can tell that the blades that you hadn't pulled out have now gone, like slammed up into him. But before the damage is done, as he's falling back, he sits here and he tells you, "The Dark Ones, the Nathul, the Bidbat, the Shat, the Beast." And then he just goes into like every language you guys know. And at the end, says are alive. And the one thing that you can sit there and translate out of everything that he said across all the languages is evil, dark ones, vile, hideous, unnameable. They're like every heinous word that has ever been like in all the languages you've known, but he spat them out as fast as he could as falls back on the blades, and you see the blades puncture up through his chest, and he dies.
Well, I'm
Cla-
ready to go outside and get some experience. I don't know about the rest of you guys.
Klaus mutters something else. Mutters curse words in Elvish as to why he couldn't just lie fucking still.
And as you see the blades go through him, you realize the guy's wearing full field plate.
Full
I loot
plate?
that shit.
Really? You could just start fucking looting him here? You're like, oh, he's not going to need it.
That's worth 1,500 gold. Heck yeah, I'm gonna loot it.
Tim sits there and stays her hand and be like, there are easier ways to do this than announcing the fact that you are loot whore
Might as well
in
just
front
get
of
it
the
out there.
whole town.
I'd look over to Tim.
And he goes, no wreck would disapprove.
Tim, do you know what he's talking about? Because I have not heard of these before. But have you?
Serena stands up, like, and she runs to, like, the window over here. And she starts looking out, and then she slams the windows. And she says, bar the windows, shut the doors, barricade us, quickly.
Klaus runs over to this window and does just that. And he
And you see Nestat runs over here, Tegarth runs over here, and Tim runs over here, and you just see him like slam the doors and put the wood down. And you guys hear an unearthly howl.
Klaus takes up and shoulders his bow and knocks an arrow. Oh, and listens to where the sound is coming from. And waits.
As you're doing that, and you hear the rain, you hear howls outside. And you hear what sounds like city militia, like the village militia.
Like screams or yelling.
Like, you know that they're out there, but then, like, when you came into the town, you saw like there were like a few places where they had like guard shacks and stuff like that. Places like they chilled out at, and whatever. And from those general directions, you hear death screams. Like, you hear, I told him. And then you hear, ah! I mean, you hear these guys screaming like
Like they're just getting slaughtered.
they're being wrecked. They're being destroyed. There's nothing that they could do. Like, you hear, like, fighting, But as soon as you hear like ching ching, you hear a scream and then silence. And then you hear Serena tell you, there's like a fireplace right here.
Mm-hmm.
And she says, grab all the wood that you can and throw it into the fireplace.
Get that chimney cooking.
Quickly. And
Keep
you
that.
see Nestat grab like bar stools and stuff like that. You hear like Hook and like the the barmaids and stuff like that throwing stuff in the back. You just see everybody shoving wood, and as you're doing this and the flames start going higher, you're like an ungodly like
Screech.
like something's trying to crawl down and then crawl back up and get away from the flames, to get away from the light.
Does that come out of this one, or does it come out of the one in the kitchen?
The this one is like this fireplace. There's a fire on this side right here where Nestat is, and then there's a fire on this side right here.
So it's a
So
open dual flame.
yes. So you're on that side, and you sit there and you see them shoving everything and everything in there to make this fire go higher. And all you hear is strange sounds around the outside. And Serena steps away from the doors and says, get toward the light, get toward the fire. And you see like all the patrons move in toward where the fireplace is. And you probably see like 20, 25 people in here, aside from you guys, that they all huddle around here as you guys hear all these death screams going out throughout the village.
Klaus mutters, "What the bloody hell is going on out there?"
Now, this keep, these windows and doors, they don't have any arrow slots in them. They're very secure. They're very stout. All these walls are very, very, very stout. And the doors, you could actually sit there and see that they're very, very reinforced. These are not your typical doors. But then again, this is an inn that is supported by Narc.
Yeah.
Um,
So it's meant to last.
yeah, it's meant to withstand like a good ass kicking. This goes
So
on.
does this have those doors on it that would take like have
Siege weapons.
8 hit points?
Siege weapons. The door would actually one-shot you if you attacked it. Yes, it's those kind of doors. You sit there and you see him run up, and he pulls a lever, and sits there and he says, "What the hell did Nora get us into now?" And Nestat goes, "Human, what are you doing?" And he goes, "Invoking the last defense we have." You hear a slight rumbling, and around the windows and around the doors, you hear this at various places during the night. And you hear ungodly screams. And whatever was by that door, by that window, like if they were touching it or whatever, stops. The night passes, and as you do, underneath the doors, dark stains of blood coming through with the rain.
Carlisle goes over to see what type of blood, human or elsewise.
You can roll, but I'm
It's
telling
human.
you,
We're massacring everybody who's
yeah,
trying to get
it's
inside.
the car.
Yeah.
It's the villagers be like, let me. Ah. As you do it, um, you realize that it's something dark that you read about, but it's kind of like at the edge of your mind. Roll an Arcana check. And it clips your grasp. No, it's something you should know. If anyone else wants to make a Arcana check, I'll allow it, because he's detected it. And just Klaus just keeps sitting there saying, "No, no, no, no." Auric, Dean,
Yeah, I got a 21.
um, remember way back when, there were child stories where you heard them from
Like scary
the dark
stories.
ones. Tells you the stories of the dark ones. When time began, before the world was formed, there were certain beings um, that were pressed and locked away by both the good and the evil gods. And
So
it
it's
took all their power to lock them away. And the reason that you, as you made this perception check, smell like um, faint cloying mist of an apple. And when you smelled this, you remembered way back when. And it said, in the darkness, when the hand came out, held apple. The apple, the damnation of everything. It was the first fruit, but it was spoiled. Not because the good gods and the bad gods aspired to do something when motion of creation was set, but because there was something else. And then began the war. And from that apple became the darkness. And there was always the faint, cloying smell whenever these creatures died. that they smell a rotten apple. And that's what you smell now. And that's what you sense. And this is the essence of the null. These are the children.
Of darkness itself. Oh.
So, as you guys absorb this, and you guys are sitting there talking among yourselves, because your character's talking to the other character, Auric is talking to Kloss, as you guys are sitting there saying, cryptic things. You're saying like a rhyme, a limerick from your childhood, and then Auric sits there and says, something from the Arcana. You realize that you guys are freaking the shit out of everyone in this inn, because these are all childhood stories. These are things that have scared. These are things that like parents tell like children when they're bad. These are the stories that terrify.
So every normal person here, all the Parsons are absolutely
Oh,
terrified.
you guys have basically said it. This guy, when he died, he sat there and said it in every language. When the blood started seeping underneath the door and you guys started talking, you guys reaffirmed every fear that these guys had from childhood.
So the darkness has returned.
You guys want to open the door and go outside?
Sure, sounds like a great idea.
I think we have to remove all the put-ons that are in the door first, which might take a crowbar.
On the... Okay. I will let you guys take the night in there. Then you guys can sit there and examine him as everybody's cowering in fear outside and staying by the light.
I grab
The door that you see, the door over, or the window over here, like up here. Serena's guarding,
Mm-hmm.
and then Tim's right there.
Are the
Baron, you see that the this guy is in field plate. Guy's in complete field plate. And it's dwarven of manufacture. But it is completely destroyed once you guys start taking off like his garments and stuff like that, his vestments. He's holding the hilt of a sword, and you can tell that it was once an elven magical sword, based off of
the runes inscribed on it, I'm guessing.
the runes, the gems, and stuff like this. And like 2 inches above, it is broken. And I'm not talking like broken like it was shattered. I'm like talking broken because it was cut because it meant something sharper.
So I doubt
Steel
a
plate,
some
his steel
doubting.
plate is completely rent. If you wanted to grab all the metal and salvage it and find a smith that could do this,
It costs a lot of
it
money to
would
repair it.
would need to find you would need to find somebody that could repair adamantine armor,
Ooh.
and this is completely thrashed.
Carlisle's going. Okay, whatever did, or Klaus is going. Okay, whatever did this must
He
be
has
stronger.
like no
strong.
shield, but he has the shield straps that he was still holding, and like a piece of the bracing bar, like on his other arm. So whatever it was that ripped it away and destroyed it is gone.
Whatever the hell did this must be powerful, more powerful than that of Tarask. That's from legend. I continue my little autopsy of what's left of this guy.
You find a scroll tube, and you find a pouch. In the pouch, you hear the jingle of coins.
I toss that over to Orc, the coin purse. And I continue to basically find what the hell ripped this man apart. Other than the claws that are probably now all disintegrated.
So, what do you guys do with the coins pouch? And
I
what do you
check
guys
to
do
see
with
what's in
the
pouch.
scroll?
check-
Within the pouch, find a pearl, and you find 200 gold.
Are the claws still in the back of the guy's back, or are they completely gone from the light?
No, they've already gone.
Or are the wounds still there?
Oh, the wounds are still there.
I see if I can find a small wooden dowel or something to poke into one of the holes, see how far it goes. So I know what I'm dealing with.
You see that the claws go 45 inches in, max, but anywhere up to going shallow and raking. But a majority of the armor, you just sit there and gouges all the way through. And the thing is that you see 3 claw gouges.
So like hawk feet almost? Or something different?
No, just 3 claws in the front. Like if you were to sit there and take your thumb and your little finger away, just take those fingers and just slash down, it looks like that.
Whatever did this amount of damage to this person, it's ungodly powerful.
And you can tell from flashes when you made that perception check, they're all different sizes. So there were small ones, there were large ones, and there were great ones.
So at least 3 to 4 different animals, at least.
What is the scroll?
In the scroll, found a message, and the message is from House Juno, addressed to House Johari. And the message is supposed to be delivered to Lord Ruan in the next southernmost city that you guys are going to.
This guy laying on the ground, is he a city guard?
Oh no.
Courier?
Huh?
Is he a courier?
No. From what you can, I guess you could say, give his vestments, you sit there and see that this was a knight. And this wasn't any courier. Be right back 1 second.
Hmm.
Back.
And we might have another player.
I need to go to bed.
Okay. Before you go to bed, though, as you guys find the scroll, you also find a dagger. And the dagger is glowing like bright violet. Like it's like shining out of like
There are orcs nearby. It's Sting.
well, what do you guys do?
I guess I go to basically grasp it, I guess.
As you grasp it,
I disagree. Commander.
like an area
So that's our new number
around,
6.
I guess you could say like 30 foot around you. You get a sense of evil moving in and out by the windows and the doors, and it like shocks your mind. Like when you sense this evil, and as you grab the dagger and you pull it out, it flares brightly. It fills up the whole room, and it shines like outside the door. So like where Tigreth is, all the way out here,
Mm-hmm.
it just flares out blindingly, and you hear a scream from the outside, and then all you hear is rain after that. There's no more trompings, there's no more nothing. All you guys hear is the rain.
Do I still sense darkness around me, or no?
No. The dagger starts to glow down like next to nothing, and then goes dark. And as it goes dark, you sit there and you see that the blade is completely made of silver, and it's got very intricate runes on it.
Elven, dwarven.
And you see it's actually a combination of all the races. One of them has an emblem on it. And can somebody make an Arcana check? Sit there and they see recognize this.
Good grief.
Eh,
Nope.
Okay, he doesn't see. He doesn't see. Tigrath with a 15 sits there and notices that all of them are signs of warding. And as it flares up and it was fading into nothing, every one of the dagger symbols flare bright white, and the dagger crumbles into nothing.
Bet this guy didn't draw this earlier.
Probably didn't have time to.
So, did you guys want to call it there?
I need to go to bed, so that's be my choice.
And we might have another player that's wanting to join us.
Cool. So, as far as you guys are concerned, all you can hear is a heavy rain outside, the cloying, drying, muddied, rotten apple smell from the doors. If you want to wait a second, I can go into the morning.
Okay.
When the rain stops and you guys can detect light from the outside, you hear nothing from the outside of the village.
No warning, movement, no nothing.
Hear nothing. As you guys open the doors, Tim comes out. You guys peer through the windows and stuff, or like he opens like one window, peers out, um, doesn't see anything, and you guys end up coming outside.
I quickly fall behind
you
him with my bow with an arrow knocked.
And as the rest of the people, crowd around the door, like right up here, you guys see that when he pulled that lever, there were very intricate dwarven traps that were set around. Either blades that came out from the walls, stakes that rose up from the ground, or like like if you were doing like storm shutters and you had windowsills that would come down.
Mm-hmm.
You saw that there were like windowsills with like barbs on them, that would come down and like slap anything, whatever. And you sit there and you see that all the defenses around this place triggered, and in each and every one of them,
Stained with blackness, with this black blood or
exactly,
whatever.
the blades are either they look like they hit something and then they rotted away, or they hit something and then they broke. You can tell that even though they're traps are of dwarven manufacture, the work that was put into them was human. So you can sit there and you see that the blades broke. So whatever that they had to, the craftsmanship that had to go up against them, the human craftsmanship, was barely up
to par.
Was barely up to the par of either damaging them or breaking on them. And as you guys survey out into the village, that all the village militia are completely destroyed, disemboweled. All the animals that were out here are dead. All the other houses are all broken into. Out of some of them, you can see like fires, from
The cook
I guess you
stove
could say
and
cook stove and stuff like that was spilled out onto like wood and stuff like that, burning and smoldering through. And you see like some of the walls, some of the doors, some of the windows are completely like ripped into, like something went in.
are all the houses like that of darkness or no? Or is there like light going into them or is it like pitch black?
It depends. Some of them, and you see, you can like look through some of them, like something charged in and then came out the other side. And from what you guys can sit there and see, aside from the inn, nothing is left alive. The dogs are dead, the chickens, everything. All your horses, the caravans that were put up in the local barn and stuff like that, everything is dead outside of this inn. The inn is the only thing that survived.
I look back. You best gather all the dead. Well, looks like we're gonna have a massive fire fit for a king. Because we don't dare Leave all these bodies here to rot.
You guys want to call it here?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. So you guys escape the night at the inn. And aside from 25 people, 25 to 30, you guys still haven't figured out like everybody who's in there because you guys really didn't take a tally. But everybody that was in the inn is alive and unharmed.
And everyone else is dead. Massive loss of life.
As you guys are looking at the walls and stuff like that of like the inn, you actually see runes of protection that are all burned out, like all the way around.
And these
They're
runes
placed. They're placed in various stones and stuff like that. But even you could sit there and see that these are all warding runes.
the words of magic have all been burnt out. So whatever magical essence they had, it's no longer there. So
Oh, and these aren't like magickers or runes. These are all like you sit there and you look at the whole inn. These are like every language is like a warning rune. Gnomish, halfling, human, elven, all even the dark races, the light races. Every other stone is inscribed with a warning rune. But they're all burned out. Like you could sit there and you could see in the stone where like it's smoked, like burnt into the stone. Whatever was there, whatever power it had, gone. And on that note, welcome to the tragedy of Hilphoven.
tragedy is more like a fucking massacre.
I'll catch you guys tomorrow.
Alright?
Later, my brother.
User
And
disconnected
thank
from
you
your
for
channel.
everyone that watched the stream.
Yep. Thank you all.